and now you're a prominent fixture of the Fox Footy team, which is super exciting. Which leads me to this week's Game Changer Spotlight, where we sort of look at we pick out a key issue each week during the podcast, and we highlight it, discuss it, and pick it apart. We've already touched on it briefly already, but what are some of the challenges that you find with females trying to break into the AFL play-by-play space? We mentioned about obstacles. What are some of those obstacles that aspiring female commentators sort of have trouble with trying to break into that space?
I think it's important to acknowledge, first and foremost, that it's difficult for anyone to break into this industry and to do play-by-play. It's a highly specialized skill in a highly competitive industry for limited spots. So, and then I guess the challenges for women is that those limited opportunities are taken up mostly by men. So the barriers to entry are already so high. And then once you get in and you start commentating play-by-play at any level, really, the challenges around proving that you belong there, getting the respect of your colleagues and also the footy fans watching and listening to you. So yeah, there's those kind of challenges. I think firstly getting in, but then kind of proving that you belong there is probably some of the big challenges. But I've been really fortunate in my time that I've worked with some amazing people who not only have supported me and given me some opportunities along the way, but have invested in me to help me be better at my craft and develop as a caller. So for that, I'm really grateful.
Does it become more about just becoming the best caller that you can be and continuing to work on that craft and finding avenues to work on that craft and then present that to a Quinton Hull that will listen back and just they listen to the content, not necessarily the voice, and go, yep, that's what we want to have showcasing our game?
I think it's about what you can control. So what you can control is being the best caller that you can be. And dedicating time to your craft and improving where you can. The rest of it you can't control. You can't really control what people think about you. Whether or not you get opportunities, largely it's not your decision, it's someone else's. Yeah. I think that's really important too for anyone in our industry, is to try and control what you can. And so for me, I just thought, as long as I can just continually try and improve and be the best commentator I can be, what will be. Can't really do anything else about that. And so that's just what I've tried to focus on. And if you don't focus on that, you'll drive yourself crazy. This industry is really tough. And like I said, it's really competitive and opportunities are limited. So if you get caught up in all of that stuff outside of your craft, like I said, you'll go a bit nuts. So I just try and keep myself focused on what I can control and trust that good things will come my way.
And what sort of good things may come your way in the future? Are we going to see the landscape change a little bit, where there might be more opportunities for you and other women looking to try and get into the AFL broadcast space in the future?
Yeah, I think it's a really exciting time in that, we are seeing a lot more diversity in broadcasting and in the industry and in all ways. So whether that's commentating or reporting or analyzing all that kind of stuff. And I think the other thing is that the parallel with this is the growth in women's sport in general. We have to look at the Matildas and the numbers, the viewership they're bringing in, and also like women's cricket's flying. Obviously, the AFLW is. So it's a really great time, I think, that not only are we having women in media roles, but the growth and interest in women on the field is also increasing as well. And so that to me is a really cool thing to be part of and witness. So I think, we've come a long way. We still have a long way to go. Absolutely. Because like I touched on before, it's one thing to be seen. It's another to be heard, and be a trusted voice in sports media. But we're getting there. And I think that the future looks really bright, and it's something that I'm really proud to be a part of. And it's pretty cool, I think, when I go to work and I see so many other women there. Um, and I made a comment to one of my mates not too long ago that it makes me really happy to think for the next 15 years I get to work with some really cool women. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we get to grow up in this industry together and move forward together. And to think that, you know, I can hang out with some pretty cool people for, you know, however long I'm lucky enough to do this. That's pretty cool.
And perhaps in the future as well, we may end up seeing more women lead the way in the play-by-play space on grand final day. Like, is that something that you still sort of have that drive to do? Is that the end goal for you, or is the end goal to try and maybe open the door for others along the way?
I think it's a goal for most commentators to commentate a grand final.
Yeah.
I think it's a dream for a lot of us. So absolutely, it's a dream. Whether or not I'll get there, who knows?
You're in the right spot to do so. Let's be fair.
Yeah, look, we'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, that would be the ultimate dream. And yeah, but I think, you know, the older I get and the more that I'm in the industry, for sure you want to kind of do what you can do to help the next generation come through and make sure that you're playing a role and providing a really supportive environment, because I think that is so important for anyone coming into the industry. You want to enjoy, you know, where you work and what you do, and so if I can play a role in that to help, you know, young broadcasters come through, you know, male or female, I think that's really important, and yeah, something that I'm sort of proud to contribute to.
And let's be honest too, in terms of longevity in the role, you've still got 20, 30 years to you're still in the beginning of your broadcast phase, even though you've been involved in footy for a long time. So realistically, over the next 20, 30 years, the industry is going to change so much that you've still got plenty of opportunities to get up there. So as much as it's about supporting the younger generation coming through, you're still on your first few steps of a long career.
People keep telling me that, but I feel really old. I feel like I have been around for 100 years. So, but no, I think you're right. And that's one of the things I think about doing play-by-play commentary, is that it's a skill that just takes time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you don't hit your peak until, you know, decades down the track. So, yeah, it's something it's been a challenge, if I'm honest, to kind of wrap my head around, because I'm so impatient and I've had this dream since I was a little kid. And so you just want everything now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very, very impatient. But yeah, it's definitely, you're absolutely right. It's I am still young in a broadcasting sense. So, you know, that's something that I also have to keep in mind as well when I get frustrated and things like that, is that hopefully, you know, I get to do this for the rest of my life. And so I've got plenty of time ahead of me, and it's just about trying to enjoy the journey along the way.
Well, I will say you speak about being a trailblazer to open up other doors for other people, as other women in the industry, much like Callie has for you. But from my personal perspective, you've been a trailblazer for our industry up here, because you helped open doors here at AFL Queensland that enabled people like me to come through, and then able to help open doors for other people to come through, to get more people over the last couple of years to even call VFL football. So what you have done, I can speak from a personal perspective here in AFL Queensland, is helped open doors for more callers. Your Hannah Davies to go out and make her debut on Fox Footy, she wouldn't have been able to do that because of you, because you opened up doors just for calling in general up here. So you're making a massive imprint already in the women's broadcast space, but even here at AFL Queensland, with what you did with the NEFL and bleeding into AFL Queensland, you opened up a heck of a lot of doors that certainly put independent broadcasters in a position where they can forge a career as well. So I can, speak humbly and honestly, thank you for opening some of those doors there, because I wouldn't be where I was today if not for Jess Webster. And I'm a middle-aged mid-30s male who is wanting to open up doors in this space, and I wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't for you.
Oh, thank you. That's really kind of if I'm honest, I don't consider myself a trailblazer. But yeah, it's nice to hear. And I mean, if I can help people, that's great. It's not something I sort of, have sort of thought about when I was coming through. I'm just a kid from Brisbane with a dream, and I just wanted to commentate footy, and that's just kind of all I've ever chased. But yeah, I suppose again, like, you know, when you get a bit older and you start to get a bit of perspective on things, and I sort of think, you know, like I said before, I'm proud of where I've come from, and yeah, if it does make it easier for people like yourself and people like Hannah and anybody else from Queensland to make it into the industry, then yeah, I'd take a bit of pride from that. But and obviously, yeah, willing to help out any way that I can. But yeah, thank you for your kind words, and it's the best job in the world, and absolutely encourage more people to chase after it and go for it.